Okay, I'm here with Paul Dykema. This is May 21, 2017 in Caledonia, Michigan. Paul was born on May 27, 1978. He worked in the Air Force, and the highest rank he achieved was Staff Sergeant E5. The other person in the room is Morgan, and I'm doing this for the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress. So, can you tell us where you were born?
Butterworth Hospital here in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay, what were your parents' occupations? Did you have any siblings?
I'm the youngest of three. My mom was a registered nurse, and my dad worked in the furniture industry, making furniture.
When did you first decide you wanted to go into the military?
Oh, when I was young. My dad was in the Navy back during the Vietnam War, and I always kind of looked up to him as being a mentor. So probably 8th through 9th grade, I was interested in it and started investigating and looking into it, and decided I'd sign up between my junior and senior year of high school.
So what was the first stages of normal basic training and stuff? How was that?
Terrifying. Get yelled at a lot. You're dealing with guys that never got yelled at before in their life. So some guys would cry at night. A long bunk room area, area of about 30 guys sleeping. So you hear everybody snoring and tossing and turning, and then you get into a routine of working out, of eating as fast as you can, taking classes to learn more about the military structure and the military rank and who's in charge of who, and it was 6 weeks in San Antonio, Texas, of getting yelled at in 100-degree heat. It was exciting.
So personally, was it really challenging for you? Were you an athletic person, so it helped a little bit?
I was far from athletic. In high school, I was 6'5" and out of shape. So when you have to run a mile and a half under 10 or 12 minutes or so like that, it was a challenge. So if you didn't make it, then you would get recycled back to give you more time to meet that requirement.
So after training, where did you go, and what did you specifically do?
After our initial basic training, which was for 6 weeks, I went to San Angelo, Texas. There's an Air Force base there, for Goodfellow Air Force Base, where they taught me how to be a firefighter. I picked the Air Force due to its fire protection program. And for the next 4 months, I was in a school learning how to be everything from an airport firefighter to hazardous materials, dealing with those, and CPR and everything else that you, as a firefighter, it's your normal job.
Yeah. So after all of learning and stuff, you how was the trip going to Iraq?
Iraq happened years later.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually stationed in Northern California, where my base was, north of Sacramento, and during that time we were under the whole area that I was stationed at was flooded. So my welcome to Beale Air Force Base was dealing with the population on the base being flooded from their local communities. So we were filling up water buffaloes for the people to drink, cleaning out the hangars where the aircraft normally park so that people could live there. I was in the Air Force for about 2 years before I got deployed to Saudi Arabia, and that was in '98. But you fly all the way from California to Baltimore, and then Baltimore to Ireland, then Italy, and then into Saudi Arabia. It was 2 very long days of flying. You step off the plane in Saudi Arabia and it was 120 degrees. So, but spent 4 months in Saudi Arabia. We were there from the first Gulf War in 1990. President Bush established no-fly zones over the north and southern sides of Iraq. we were there to patrol the southern no-fly zone, and that was our job.
How was that like?
I was 20 years old, and it was a big eye-opener. It was a great growing experience. When you have fighter jets with fully loaded missiles and stuff coming and going, you have aircraft incidents and fuel leaks, and I was 20 years old and dealing with this kind of stuff. It was an eye-opening experience to see all that and to be part of it.
Yeah. So once like when you were there, were you have like in touch with your families and friends back home, or?
Yeah. We had emails that we were able to send back and forth, but that was pretty much it. I mean, there was morale phones that you could call home, but they don't want you calling home every day.
Yeah.
And there's also security things that you can't tell your family.
Yeah.
So
of course you missed your family a lot. Was that like really hard for you?
A little bit. I mean, being away from family, I mean, when you go away to college or something like that in the States, family's right there.
Yeah.
But I was on the other side of the world. And so it was a little more of a challenge. But I knew what I was there for. I knew I was serving a mission. We were there with the French and British militaries as well. Did I miss my family? Yeah, of course. But we were there for a job.
So you mentioned you were there for 4 months, 4
Yes.
years.
4 months.
4 months, okay. Can you like take us through like what like was like a typical day, like what that like seemed like?
That was in 98, so you're asking
Yeah.
something like almost how many years ago? A normal day is the fire department. We work every other day, 24-hour shifts. So you are off for 24 hours, then you work for 24 hours. So a normal day of going to work was getting up early, scarfing down breakfast, getting on a little bus. The bus would take us to the flight line area where our fire station was at, and then we switch out with the guys that are ready to go home. We check out our fire trucks, make sure they're all working in operation and stuff like that. There's water on them, they're full of fuel and ready to go. And then we train. Well, we train for anything that could happen, from fuel spills to structure fires, to just about anything. And you have your lunchtime, you have your workout time that you can be in the gym working out, and then you eat, and then you wait. You wait for an emergency to happen, and so then you can put your training to use.
Yeah. How was that training? Like, if you can like recall like specific things that were like hard or nerve-wracking from that.
You're training on everything from how to get a pilot out of an airplane when the engine is still running. You're training on how to deal with aircraft. Everything. The aircraft are huge, and so you're dealing with the aircraft. You're wearing your fire gear, which is hot to begin with, but now it's 120 degrees outside. So you're going through t-shirts and you're drinking water and lots of water, and because you're sweating it all out.
Mm-hmm.
But you're training for everything that could possibly happen.
Yeah. Looking back on that, like how do you feel about doing that? Like, how did that affect your life?
I would go back and do it again if I could. It was a great opportunity. It was a great learning opportunity to be part of, and I can say I was there.
What would you like tell people that are like thinking of going into the military?
Do it.
Do it.
From the financial aspect, it pays for your college.
Yeah.
From your growing up aspect, you learn a lot. You make some friends. Oftentimes you make your friends that are in your high school, and you'll stay friends with them, but they stay local. They stay here in the Caledonia, Grand Rapids area. You know, I have friends all around the country, all around the world, and all I have to do is give them a call and say, hey, I'm coming over. And dinner will be on the table when I get there. You know, the friendships that will never go away because you trust your life with them.
So, like, what's like the biggest like life lesson you'd say you learned from going there?
That's a tough one. Couldn't send me these questions beforehand. Don't take anything for granted. You know, value your life, value your family, because you know the military is over there protecting you. You know, and it's a great feeling to be part of something. Yeah, life lesson is don't ever take a day for granted. So.
Cool. Thank you. I think we're good.